babes, it's Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. So today's video I will be doing a movie review, and that movie will be Miss Juneteenth, which was released obviously on June 19th of this year, 2020. So let's get into this thing, shall we? Okay, so like I said, this movie was released on June 19th of this year. It is an independent movie. It is having limited releases. It is also available on video on demand. I was able to watch it via Amazon. It is not an Amazon Prime movie, but you can rent it or buy it. And I do believe I rented it for like $6.99, and I think the buy price was $12.99, which isn't bad at all. I don't know what other video platforms it's on, but I do know that it's on Amazon. But it's definitely not on like a Netflix or any type of streaming service like that, because again, it's video on demand, which probably means you have to pay for it or something like that. So, you know, there's that. So it's a really good movie. It stars oh wait, let me tell you who made the movie. The movie was written and directed by Channing Godfrey Peoples. And I think this is her debut movie. It stars Nicole Beer as this single mom in Texas who was a beauty pageant winner, and the name of the pageant was Miss Juneteenth, hence the name of the movie. And she is now preparing her daughter, who is turning 15, for this same pageant. But while she is preparing her daughter for this pageant, we see the everyday life that Nicole's character lives. And the name of her character is Turquoise Jones. So I'll give you the movie info directly from Rotten Tomatoes. And right now on Rotten Tomatoes, the movie is at 99%. It really is a good movie. It really is worth investing in and, you know, watching. So movie info from Rotten Tomatoes: Turquoise Jones is a single mom who holds down a household, a rebellious teenager, and pretty much everything that goes down at Wayman's Barbecue and Lounge. Turquoise is also a bona fide beauty queen. She was once crowned Miss Juneteenth, a title commemorating the day slaves in Texas were freed 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, or whatever the hell, you know, that thing that Lincoln did. Or was it him? Anyway, life didn't turn out as beautifully as the title promised, but Turquoise, determined to right her wrongs, is cultivating her daughter Kai to become Miss Juneteenth, even if Kai wants something else. So as I said, from the makings of the, you know, from like the movie itself, we see Turquoise. She's just going through everyday life. She's currently working several jobs, and mainly her main job is being a bartender and kind of like manager of this barbecue and lounge joint down in Texas called Wayman's. She pretty much keeps the place in order, and then she does like other little odd jobs and stuff. She is really, you know, she's a struggling single mom. So her daughter is turning 15, and this the Miss Juneteenth pageant is coming up again, and she wants her daughter to enter. Kai does not want to enter the pageant, but Kai enters the pageant because she knows that this is something that her mother wants, so she's going to do it, and she does, even though she's fighting a little bit along the way, you know what I mean, but she still enters the contest. But we see Turquoise, she is having some issues because when she does enter this enters her Kai into the pageant, there is of course an interest fee of like $400. So we see her, you know, she's already struggling, you know, a little bit, you know, paying her bills and, you know, getting things done, you know, just her everyday normal, but you know, she makes this decision. There's one part of the movie where she makes this decision, not to pay a bill and instead pay, the interest fee for her daughter to enter into this contest. The other issue that Turquoise but definitely does have inside of this movie is her baby daddy. Her baby daddy is something else. She loves the man, she does, but he ain't, he ain't about nothing. He want to be out in the streets and stuff like that, And while she is trying to, as the movie information says, as she's trying to cultivate this life for her daughter, to make sure that her daughter doesn't end up in the predicament, that she is currently in, you know what I mean? Her baby daddy is just like, I'm the streets is me, he's for the streets, you know what I mean? She's having some issues with him. He's in and out of jail. He's always in trouble. And this also brings like extra money issues, in her household with dealing with this man. And we see kind of like this complicated relationship that she has with Kai's father. Like I said, she loves the man, but she also knows the man is no good for her. You know what I mean? And I couldn't begrudge her of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm quite sure, many of us have been in that situation. You know what I mean? And she is really having a hard time as we go through the movie, of letting this man go. And we see where this other man that she grew up with, where she does, some odd work for this father-son funeral home, and the son has a big old crush on her. He's pretty much in love with her, because there were some scenes inside of that movie. He was just like looking at her like, girl, I would drink your dirty ass bath water. I was like, girl, look at you. Yeah. But she was so good about it because she knew, you know what I mean, that dude was in love with her, but she didn't try to like use that to her advantage of anything like that. So, she was a good person. Turquoise is really a good person, and she's just trying to do the best she can with what she has and make and cultivate a better life for her daughter. So she's not trying to like, scheme or scam to get her way through life. Even if this other man that is right in front of her face may be the best possible thing for her, because she doesn't feel the way, that he feels about her, she's not going to, use him or anything like that. So, but that one scene where girl, I'm telling y'all, he was looking at her like big old puppy child. And they was like in a funeral home, and she was like, doing the makeup on the body or whatever. Child, he probably would have, you know what, let me not even say it, because that'd be disrespecting the dead. But, so we see that a little bit of that going on in the movie as well. And then when she does, go to the pageant, she runs into, some former people. Now, Turquoise won the pageant. And, what I also liked about the movie is it displays like the classism that goes on in the Black community, because with these pageants you tend to have, like the upper class, people tend to put their children inside of these pageants and stuff like that. And Turquoise, she comes from, a single mother household herself. Her mother wasn't the best of moms or anything like that, but she always did what she had to do, the same way that she is doing as an adult. So, when she returns to this pageant to put her daughter through and stuff, she runs into some old, people that she used to know or whatever. And, that's where you see kind of like this classism thing that goes on, in the Black communities, whereas like, certain people, shouldn't be doing certain things or winning certain things and stuff like that. And I believe when Turquoise won, a lot of people didn't like her, because we did have kind of like, it wasn't on screen, but we did see one of the girls that she competed against and beat, kind of like, throwing some microaggressions at Kai while Kai was, going through the program and stuff like that. So it was really just like, It was something to see, but I'm glad the director covered that. Damn, bug done bit me already. Ugh, cannot stand going outside now. We see a little bit of that. She also is having, like I said, her daughter is turning 15, and her daughter is having, she has this little relationship with this boy. And what I liked about it is that Kai was, I wouldn't describe her as a rebellious teen, as the movie information says. She's just a 15-year-old girl, just, growing up, and, she like boys and boys like her, you know what I mean? So, you see that going on. But she was always very respectful of Turquoise. When Turquoise would, get on her about things, she will always, always return the favor by respecting her mother, you know what I mean? And just doing what her mother requested of her. But, we see kind of where she's having these issues with Kai, having a relationship with this little boy, you know what I mean? Because it's like, again, she don't want her daughter to, her exact words in the movie, when she's talking to, Kai's father, she's like, I want her to be better than us. I want her to be something other than us, you know what I mean? So when she sees, this little boy, hugging and liking her girl stuff, her little girl stuff like that, she ain't having it, she don't want it, all throughout the movie, she is telling Kai, like, I done told you about that little boy, you know what I mean? And the movie does, because the movie is titled Miss Juneteenth, there is a scene in the movie where we get information, scenes, but mainly like one scene inside of the movie where we get history on the holiday, and how it came about and how people in Texas celebrated. So that was a good thing to see as well, because while the rest of the world is catching up, you know what I mean, Texas been on it, so it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. The ending was just like so good, and she does get a happy, even though things are just like, as we're going out through the movie, like I said, what I loved about the movie so much is that it really just gives us this really realistic view of, everyday, life for, Black people. And for me, rather you're single or in a relationship, where, nothing's picture perfect. And, we have these things that go in the community, we have the classism, and we have all these things that are going on, you know what I mean? So the movie does a really good job of highlighting, multiple things in a movie while still trying to stay on point and on purpose with just giving us, the everyday, ins and out of Turquoise Jones' life. And then we also, before I leave, I just wanted to mention, we also do see, this kind of like strained relationship between Turquoise and her mom, and why Turquoise is so determined to not have her daughter be, a repeat of what she thinks, her life. Her life didn't turn out so well. So, she just doesn't want that repetitiveness going on with her daughter. You know what I mean? And I have to say that for me, Turquoise, because you could just tell that she just came from, her mom was a single mom, she was an alcoholic, you know what I mean? And now she's relying on, and the other thing inside of the movie that just killed me was the things of church, and how sometimes the institution of church, you know what I mean, can be so contradictive and abusive, you know what I mean? And we see that in scenes inside of this movie. There's one scene inside of the movie, I was just so upset and so mad. I had to like pause a little bit, because I was just like, I know, you know what I mean? But you gotta watch the movie to see it. I don't want to do no spoilers or anything like that. But it's a really powerful scene, and I was just like, it just gives me that thing of how, people are always willing to, go to church, start church, but don't work on their insides, you know what I mean? That don't solve the problem of why you are the way you are. Like, her mother was an alcoholic, you know what I mean? But she relied heavily on church, you know, kind of, you know, to, you know, to seem to try to make her like, you know, this better person, and, you know, always telling Turquoise that she need church and she need God and all that other stuff. Well, how can you tell somebody that when you're not even working on yourself, when you're still doing the same things that you were doing when this woman was, you know, when this woman was growing up? You're still the abusive, abusive, you know, physically, you know, mentally, you know, verbally, you know, you're still that person. So how do you think you change just because you go to church, you know, 7 days a week, and you're reading the Bible and you're taking in those words that the preacher are telling you, but you're not even. So, you know, we have that going on in the movie, because that child, we be here all night because that shit pisses me off. You know, so we see that, you know, we see the strained relationship that she has with her mother, and stuff like that. It's a really good movie. I really love the inner workings of it. I just think, like I said, I just think the director did a very good job of just covering everything, you know, the multiple things that are going on in Turquoise's life, you know, her struggles, you know, her happy days, you know, her accomplishments, you know what I mean? And, you know, what really struck home for me was this movie is that this woman, you know, no matter how much life seemed to, you know, beat down on her, you know what I mean? She always had a smile, and she always was just ready to do what she had to do to make sure that she and her family was okay. You know what I mean? That they were good, and she was going to do what she had to do to make sure that they were good. You know, so it's a good movie. Check it out. It's only an hour. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. So until the next one, guys. Later days. Bye.